I didn't panic when I found the credit card statement in my mailbox. A Visa card with my name on it, showing a balance of $14,872.63. I'd never applied for that card, never even walked into that bank. My hands stayed steady as I opened the envelope and read through the charges. Designer handbags, a week at a resort in Cancun, tuition payments to a private school in Columbus. I knew exactly who had done this, my daughter Michelle. I sat there on my front porch in Lima, Ohio, the September sun beating down on the peeling paint of the house I'd owned for 40 years, and I made a decision that would tear my family apart. I called the number on the statement, reported the fraud, and filed a police report. 47 minutes later, 2 FBI agents knocked on my daughter's office door. Let me back up. My name is Robert, and I'm 62 years old. I spent 38 years as a janitor at Shawnee Elementary School before I retired last year. My wife Dorothy passed away 3 years ago. Massive heart attack. She was only 57. We raised our daughter Michelle in this small house on the west side of Lima. Saved every penny Dorothy made as a bank teller and every cent I earned pushing a mop. We paid for Michelle's college at Ohio State without her taking loans. That was our gift. That was supposed to be our legacy. Michelle is 35 now, married to a man named Kevin who sells medical equipment. They have a 9-year-old daughter, my granddaughter Emma. For years, I thought I understood who my daughter had become. A finance consultant, she told me, helping small businesses with their books. Living in a nice subdivision in Dublin, driving a new Lexus, sending Emma to St. Timothy's Academy. I was proud of her. I thought Dorothy would have been proud too. I was wrong. It started 4 months ago. I went to the pharmacy to pick up my blood pressure medication. When I handed over my senior discount card, the cashier ran it and frowned. "Sir, this card has been declined." "What do you mean declined?" "It's a discount card, not a credit card. The system shows your application was rejected. Something about your credit score." That didn't make sense. I'd never had a credit card in my life, never owed anybody a dime. Dorothy and we paid cash for everything except the house, and we paid that off in 15 years. After she died, I kept living the same way. Social Security and my small pension covered my needs. I had no debt, no reason for a bad credit score. That night, I went online at the library. It took me an hour to figure out how to request my credit report. When I finally got it pulled up on the screen, my stomach dropped. There were 6 credit cards in my name. 6. Total balance, $89,847.29. Cards from banks I'd never heard of. Billing addresses in Dublin and Powell, suburbs where Michelle lived. Purchase history showing charges at stores I'd never been to. One card had been opened 3 years ago. Right after Dorothy died, I printed everything out, 23 pages. I took them home and spread them across my kitchen table. The same table where Dorothy and I used to do our budget every Sunday night, where we'd helped Michelle with her homework, where we'd celebrated her graduation, her wedding, Emma's birthdays. I didn't call Michelle right away. I needed to understand. I went through the statements line by line. The pattern was clear. Somebody had been using my information, my social security number, my clean credit history to fund a lifestyle I could never afford, and that somebody had access to all my personal information. The next morning, I drove to Michelle's house, big colonial with white columns, 3-car garage. In the driveway, I saw her Lexus and Kevin's BMW. When Michelle answered the door, she looked surprised. "Dad, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you. It's important." She let me in. The house was like something from a magazine. Granite countertops, hardwood floors, furniture that looked expensive. We sat in her living room. "Michelle, I found something. I need you to be honest with me." She looked nervous already. "Found what?" I pulled out the credit report. "These cards. They're in my name, but I didn't open them. Do you know anything about this?" Her face went pale. I watched her try to decide. Lie or tell the truth. "Dad, I can explain." Then, explain. She told me a story that broke my heart. After Dorothy died, Michelle and Kevin had made some investments that went bad. Kevin's sales had dropped. They'd overextended themselves on the house, on Emma's school, on trying to maintain appearances in their upscale neighborhood. Michelle said she'd seen my credit report once when helping me with something after Dorothy passed. She'd seen how perfect it was. $812. A lifetime of responsible living. She said she'd only meant to borrow a little, just to get through a rough patch. She'd planned to pay it back before I ever knew. But one card turned into 2, then 3, then 6. The balances grew. The minimum payments were manageable at first, but then they weren't. Every word felt like a knife. This is identity theft, Michelle. This is fraud. Dad, don't be dramatic. It's your daughter. It's not like some stranger did this. It's worse that it's you. You stole my identity. You destroyed my credit. You put me at risk. I know, Dad. I know. I'm sorry. I'll pay it back. I promise. When? How? That's almost $90,000. Michelle started crying. I don't know, but I will. I'll figure something out. Just please don't tell Kevin. He doesn't know. And Emma. Think about Emma. What will this do to her? I thought about Emma. Sweet Emma, with her blonde braids and gap-toothed smile. Emma who spent every Sunday afternoon with me, baking cookies and watching old movies. What about Emma? What happens when you can't pay this debt? When the collectors start calling? When they come after my house? My pension? Michelle, this has to stop. Today, I need you to close these accounts and we need to figure out how to fix this. I can't close them. The balances. If I close them without paying, they'll what? Sue you? They should sue you. This is theft. Her tears stopped. Something cold came into her eyes. If you report this, I go to jail. Dad, I could go to jail. Is that what you want? For your granddaughter's mother to be in prison? I wanted to hold her. Every instinct I had as a father wanted to fix this, to protect her. But I heard Dorothy's voice in my head. Something she'd said when Michelle was 16 and got caught shoplifting. A pair of earrings from the mall, $20. Dorothy had marched her back to the store, made her confess, made her face the consequences. Small consequences, then. A warning from store security. Community service, Dorothy had said. Better she learns now when the stakes are low. If we let this go, next time it'll be bigger. The stakes weren't low anymore. Michelle, you've committed a felony. Multiple felonies. I can't just pretend this didn't happen. So what are you going to do? Turn in your own daughter? She stood up. Get out. What? Get out of my house. Michelle, wait. No. Get out. If you're going to ruin my life, I don't want to see you. I left. I sat in my car in her driveway for 20 minutes, watching her house through the windshield. Through the window, I could see her on the phone, pacing, angry. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Dorothy. What would she do? She'd always been the strong one, the one who made the hard decisions. I could almost see her sitting across from me at the kitchen table. That look she'd get when she was thinking something through. You have to report it, I imagined her saying. You don't have a choice, but she's our daughter, and you're enabling her. You're teaching her she can do this without consequences. What about Emma? Emma needs her mother to be someone she can respect, someone who takes responsibility. The next morning, I made my decision. I called the credit card companies, one by one, told them I was a victim of identity theft. They transferred me to fraud departments. I filed reports. They asked questions. Did I know who might have done this? Did I have any suspects? I told them I had a suspicion, but I wanted to let law enforcement investigate. Then I went to the Lima Police Department. The officer at the desk listened to my story and called a detective. Detective Sarah Kowalski, maybe 40 years old, with kind eyes and a no-nonsense manner. Mr. 2. Brennan, she said after I'd explained everything. This is serious. Federal crime, actually. Identity theft that crosses state lines. I'll need to contact the FBI. That's when it became real. The FBI. My daughter could go to federal prison. I understand, I said. I'm sorry, but I have to ask. Do you know who did this? You mentioned you have suspicions. It was my daughter. I showed her the evidence, the addresses, the pattern, the handwriting on one application I'd found. Detective Kowalski nodded slowly. I know this is hard, but you're doing the right thing. These cases, they don't get better on their own. They get worse. I know. There's something else you should know. Once we start this investigation, we can't stop it. even if you change your mind later. Once the FBI gets involved, they'll pursue it. I understand. That afternoon, Special Agents Martinez and Chen came to my house. They were professional, thorough. They took copies of everything. They asked me to walk them through the timeline. They told me they'd been seeing more cases like this. Family members stealing identities, adult children using parents' credit. It was an epidemic, Agent Martinez said. But most people don't report it. They're afraid of destroying their families. What they don't realize is the destruction is already happening. Not reporting it just makes it worse. 47 minutes after they left my house, they went to Michelle's office. I know because Kevin called me. What did you do? Kevin's voice was shaking. The FBI just arrested Michelle. At her office. In front of everyone. I reported the identity theft. She stole from me, Kevin. $89,000. She ruined my credit. You turned in your own daughter. To save myself from financial ruin. And to save her from herself. This doesn't save anyone. You just destroyed our family. He hung up. The next 3 days were a nightmare. Michelle was released on bond. Kevin moved out. He filed for divorce the next week. Michelle's mugshot appeared on the local news website. Woman charged with defrauding own father. The comments section was vicious. Michelle called me once. Just once. You happy now, Dad? Everyone knows. I lost my job. Kevin's gone. Emma's asking why Mommy got arrested. This is what you wanted? I didn't want this, Michelle. I wanted you to stop. I wanted you to take responsibility. Well, congratulations. I hope it was worth it. I visited Emma a week later. Michelle was allowing supervised visits. Emma was staying with Kevin's parents temporarily. When I got there, Emma ran to me and hugged me tight. Grandpa, I missed you. I missed you too, sweetheart. Mommy says you're mad at her. I'm not mad. I'm sad about some choices she made. Kevin's mom, Linda, pulled me aside while Emma played with her dolls. Robert, I don't know what to say. Kevin told me what happened. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of it. Michelle's lawyer wants to make a deal. She's going to plead guilty, probably get probation and restitution. Linda hesitated. Kevin doesn't want Emma around you right now. He says you put Michelle in jail. I understand. Just, please, take care of her. Tell her I love her. I will. The court case took 4 months. Michelle pled guilty to multiple counts of identity theft and fraud. The prosecution recommended probation given that she was a first-time offender and the victim was a family member willing to work with her on restitution. The judge was not sympathetic. Miss Brennan, he said, you violated the most basic trust. You stole from your own father, a man who sacrificed to give you a better life. That shows a level of moral bankruptcy that concerns this court. He sentenced her to 18 months of supervised probation, 300 hours of community service, and full restitution of all debts plus damages. She had to pay back every penny. Plus, she was ordered to attend financial counseling and therapy. After the sentencing, Michelle looked at me from across the courtroom. I couldn't read her face. Anger, shame, fear. Maybe all three. I didn't see Michelle or Emma for 6 months. Kevin had primary custody. Michelle was allowed supervised visits. I tried calling. Michelle never answered. I sent cards to Emma through Kevin's parents. Then one day in March, 9 months after the arrest, Michelle called me. Dad. Michelle, can we talk? Of course. There's a coffee shop on Main Street. Tomorrow morning, I'll be there. When I walked into the coffee shop, Michelle was already sitting at a table in the back. She looked different, thinner, older. Her hair wasn't styled the way it used to be. She was wearing clothes from Target, not Nordstrom. She stood up when she saw me. For a moment, neither of us knew what to do. Then I opened my arms and she walked into them. I'm sorry, Dad. She was crying. I'm so sorry for everything. I know. I've been going to therapy, court-ordered at first, but I've kept going. I needed it. I've learned a lot about myself, about why I did what I did. I'm listening. After Mom died, I felt like I had to prove something, to show everyone I was successful, that I'd made it. Kevin and I were trying so hard to fit into this life we couldn't afford, and I justified it to myself. I told myself it was okay because you were my father, because I'd pay it back, because I deserved it. But none of that was true. I stole from you. I betrayed your trust. I put you at risk. And worst of all, I taught Emma that it's okay to take what you want without consequences. She wiped her eyes. I lost everything. My job, my husband, my house. I'm living in a one-bedroom apartment in Findlay. I work at Target. Retail. But you know what? I'm making it. I'm paying you back. $20 a week. It'll take forever, but I'm doing it. And I see Emma twice a week now. Supervised at first, but now Kevin lets me take her for a few hours. I'm rebuilding. You did the right thing, Dad. I hated you for it. I hated you so much, but you did the right thing. I took a breath. I held my chest tight for 9 months. I understand why you did it now. My therapist helped me see. If you hadn't stopped me, I would have kept going. I would have destroyed your life completely. And then I would have moved on to someone else. Maybe Kevin's parents. Maybe credit cards in Emma's name. I was out of control. You're my daughter. I love you, but I couldn't let you destroy yourself. I chose saving you over making you happy. Consequences are temporary, Michelle. What you were doing, that would have followed you forever. We talked for 2 hours. She told me about her therapy, her community service at a food bank, her plans to eventually go back to school for a different career. She asked about my credit. I told her it was recovering. Slowly, I'd gotten the debts discharged through the court order. The marks would stay on my credit for 7 years, but I was 72. I didn't need credit anymore. Before we left, Michelle asked if Emma could come visit me on Sundays again. Like she used to. I'd like that very much. Now Emma comes over every Sunday afternoon. We bake cookies, we work on puzzles, we watch old movies. The black and white ones, she says, are funny because people talk weird. She tells me about school, about her friends, about her new bedroom at Kevin's house. She asks about her mom sometimes. Mommy made a mistake, didn't she, Grandpa? Yes, sweetheart. A big one. But is she fixing it? She's trying very hard to fix it. Good. Because you should fix your mistakes. That's what you always tell me. You're right. I have a photo on my mantle from Emma's 8th birthday. Michelle is holding her, both of them laughing at something Kevin said. This was a month before I found that first credit card statement. Every time I look at it, I remember that joy, and I hope we can find our way back to something like it someday. Michelle has been out of legal trouble for 9 months now. She's paid back over $700. At $20 a week, she'll be paying for years. But she never misses a payment. She texts me every Monday morning. Sent this week's payment. I see you Sunday for Emma's pickup. Last month, something changed. Emma told me that Mommy said to tell you thank you. Thank you for what? I asked. For loving her enough to make her stop. That's what Mommy said. I felt something break open in my chest. Something that had been locked tight. 2 weeks ago, Michelle asked if I wanted to come to Emma's school play. Kevin will be there, she warned me. It might be awkward. I don't care about awkward. I want to see Emma in her play. So I went. I sat 3 rows behind Michelle and Kevin. Emma played a tree in the class production of The Wizard of Oz. She was the best tree I'd ever seen. Afterward, we all stood in the lobby. Kevin shook my hand. Robert. Kevin. He looked at Michelle, then back at me. I was wrong. What you did, I thought it was cruel. But Michelle's different now. She's better, more honest, more real. I see that. She's working hard. I know she is. I'm proud of her. Kevin nodded. Emma should spend more time with you. Sunday afternoons are good, Michelle said quietly. But maybe Friday nights too? I'd like that. So now I see Emma twice a week. Michelle drops her off and sometimes comes in for a few minutes. She tells me about her week. She asks my advice about things. Small things, like which apartment to rent, or whether she should take a management position at Target. Last Friday, Michelle stayed for dinner. I made spaghetti, the way Dorothy used to make it. Emma set the table. The 3 of us sat in my kitchen, and for a moment, it felt almost normal, almost like family again. I learned something through this. Something Dorothy tried to teach me, but I only understood when I had to make the hardest decision of my life. Love isn't about making people comfortable. Sometimes love means setting boundaries that hurt. Sometimes love means letting people face consequences because those consequences are the only things that will save them. I think about that credit card statement often, the one that arrived in my mailbox and changed everything. People might judge me. They might say I betrayed my daughter, that I should have protected her, covered for her, found another way. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should have. But I know this. Michelle is still here. She's alive. She's working. She's rebuilding her relationship with Emma. She has a chance at a real future, built on honesty instead of fraud. That wouldn't have happened if I'd done nothing. The debt would have grown to 200,000, then 300. Eventually, someone else would have caught her, and the consequences would have been worse. Federal prison instead of probation. No relationship with Emma at all. There's a saying Dorothy used to have. She'd cross-stitched it and hung it above our kitchen sink. Do the right thing even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I looked at that sampler every day for 40 years. I never really understood it until I had to turn in my own daughter to save her from herself. I still see that sampler every morning when I wash my breakfast dishes. The fabric has faded. The thread has worn thin in places, but the message remains. I think about Dorothy every day. I hope I made her proud. I hope when Michelle looks at Emma 20 years from now, she'll understand what I did and why. I hope Emma grows up knowing that love sometimes looks like disappointment, but it's love nonetheless. Next year, Michelle's probation will end. The restitution will take longer, but the legal part will be over. She's talked about going back to school, maybe getting a degree in social work. She says she wants to help other people who've made mistakes find their way back. I'll support her in that. Whatever she wants to do, I'll be there. Because that's what family means. Not that we never hurt each other. Not that we let each other get away with anything, but that we love each other enough to make the hard choices. We protect each other from external threats, yes, but sometimes we also protect the people we love from themselves, even when it breaks our hearts, even when they hate us for it, even when we lie awake at night wondering if we did the right thing. I still wonder sometimes, probably always will. But then Emma hugs me and tells me she loves me, or Michelle texts me about a small victory at work, or I remember Dorothy's face, that determined look she'd get when she knew what had to be done. And I think maybe I did okay. Maybe love isn't about avoiding pain. Maybe it's about choosing the right kind of pain. The pain that leads to healing instead of the pain that leads to destruction. That's what I tell myself anyway. That's what lets me sleep at night. And that's the lesson I hope Emma learns as she grows up. The one I wish I could have taught Michelle before it was too late. Trust is harder to rebuild than credit scores. Fix your mistakes before they fix you. And if you ever find yourself in my position, having to choose between protecting someone from consequences or protecting them from themselves, remember this. Probation ends. Shame fades. But the person you could have become if no one stopped you, that ghost stays with you forever. Choose intervention. Choose the hard conversation. Choose love that looks like boundaries now over regret that lasts forever. That's my story. That's what I did. Whether it was right or wrong, I'll let God judge when my time comes. For now, I just keep showing up for Emma, for Michelle, for the family Dorothy and I built together. Because at the end of the day, that's all any of us can do. We show up. We make the best choices we can with what we know. We love imperfectly. We parent imperfectly. We forgive imperfectly. And we hope it's enough.